We are back with another New York Mets spring training game. Today, the New York Mets are going to be hosting the Houston Astros. So we are super excited about that. Hold on, I got to fix my headphones here really quick. All right, so we're going to run over all of the starting lineups and everything that you need to know going into this game here today. So appreciate everybody being here. And we're going to rock and roll. Here is who the Mets are going to be rolling out today. Make sure, hold on. What are we having issues with here? All right, here we go. This is, why are we having issues? Hold on. We got something going on with the headphones. Where is my Bluetooth connecting to? Where are we? Why is this doing this? This is weird because now it's like using this as like a microphone. I don't want that on. Says we are all good. Let's just try this again. All right. How's it going, Jonathan? How are you doing today? I'm having a little technical difficulties here. So, for whatever reason, my headphones are like picking up, they're like connecting to themselves. Like, I don't want to do that. So, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with all of that. So, all right. Here's what we have. We have the starting lineup for the New York Mets. It's going to be Francisco Lindor hitting first at shortstop, Juan Soto, right field batting second, Pete Alonso batting third, playing first, Vientos playing third, hitting in the cleanup spot. Jesse Winker will back him up as the DH. Francisco Alvarez is the catcher. And then we've got Canario playing left, McNeil at second, and Siri playing center and batting ninth. So we're going to try to get all of our little technical glitches worked out here. If not, we're going to have to go to our backup headphones. I think that's what we're going to just have to do today, because for whatever reason, as soon as I start talking, these headphones are as soon as I start talking, these headphones are overriding me. So that doesn't help me whatsoever with being able to hear what's going on in the game. So the game is not going to start here for a couple of minutes. So come on in, say hi. We are MetropoliFins. We are YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. We're going to be bringing to you this entire game, kind of giving you commentary, play-by-play, everything that you need to know for the game here today. And so appreciate each and every one of you being here with us. And we're going to just do this really quick. Trying to get all of our technical glitches working out here. As soon as the game starts, we will let you know. But we're not quite there or ready yet. The game's set to start at 6:10 p.m. And so we're excited to bring you coverage here today. All right, so we're going to reboot everything here, see if this fixes all the problems. And then later tonight, I'm going to have to fiddle with the headphones and figure out what else is possibly going on with everything here. The game has not started yet. Brandon Sproat is pitching for the Mets today as well. So that'll be fun. I believe he's officially been assigned to minor league camp, but it's still fun to see him get that extra playing time. All right, so that is the starting lineup for the Houston Astros. Cooper Hummel will be pitching today. The Mets are the home team, by the way. Cooper Hummel will be pitching. Or no, hold on. Sorry, Cooper. Not that. I got that wrong. Gusto is pitching. Cooper Hummel's our left fielder. Ryan Gusto is going to be pitching for the Astros. So it's. I'm not going to go over all the names of the Astros players, but we'll just run through it really quick. Hummel, Smith, Diaz, Singleton, Chas McCormick, Hamilton, Rogers, Melton, and former New York Met legend Luis Guillorme. Wow, Sean Reed Foley made it through waivers. All right, well, that's actually good for the Mets because I'm sure ideally they would want to hold on to him. You know, they don't want to get rid of him, but got to clear roster spots this time of year. It gets difficult to figure out exactly how everything's going. So thank you for that breaking news, Jonathan. Appreciate it so much. So the game has not yet started, but we're here. We're ready to go. I've got my Juan Soto soda ready. So the 2 games of Juan Soto that we have live streamed so far, he's hit a home run in each. So we are ready with the Juan Soto home run call in case it comes up in this game. Yeah, everything's just kind of weird tonight. All my tech is like been fine all day, but acting up tonight. So we are just on the pathway here. By the way, we do have an update to our giveaway. We were doing a giveaway of a Nick Madrigal rookie card, but even though he's still officially on the Mets payroll, he is out for the season, it sounds like. So we're upping the ante. We're adding a David Peterson rookie card as well. So we're going to extend the deadline because right as we were about to give the card away, Madrigal got hurt. I'm like, that's such a bummer. I'm like, I don't want to be giving away like a rookie card. Excited about that. You can sign up for that at the link. So let me get this figured out. Yeah, now the internet's glitchy. Everything's going to be glitchy tonight. I guess that's just what we're going to have here. Here, I can do this since I don't know exactly what we can show and can't show and everything, but we'll do this. Astros lineup here. And then we'll switch over so you can see the New York Mets lineup as well. So Canario is kind of one of the big question marks if he's going to be able to steal a roster spot here as kind of a utility outfielder position. So we'll do some research on him. In fact, let's do that right now while we're waiting for the game to begin. There it is. So yeah, his season last year with the Cubs, he played in 15 games. The year before, he played in 6 games with the Cubs. But very small sample size, but still had a 280 average and a 294 average the previous couple of years. So definitely in the mix of potential final bench spots for the New York Mets. So kind of be watching that. A lot of these position battles will be coming down to the wire here over the next couple of weeks as the Mets are figuring out exactly who. And of course, what's also going to happen as teams cut players, then other players might become available or for either trade or even just outright free agent signings and stuff like that. So a whole bunch of things that are going to be moving, lots of moving parts and pieces. So if you're not 100% satisfied with your team's roster, there will be an opportunity for guys who maybe can't make one team, say like a Dodgers player, you know, who's like a team that's super deep, maybe, or even if they're not super deep everywhere, if they're deep at a particular position, but they can't quite work out a trade, you're going to have some different options to maybe grab somebody else there. So Mets have taken the field on defense here. They are the home team tonight. It's coming to you from Clover Park. Is that what it is? So this is pretty close to like what a potential opening day lineup could look like for the Mets. So we'll see how everything goes here. Here we go. We got the first pitch. And we got some pitch com issues here for Brandon Sproat right now. Pitch com issues. They have a pitch com graphic that they put up anytime there's a pitch com issue. See if they get everything fixed here. All right. Sproat is on the mound here. Astros have one runner on, one out, top of the first inning here. Cam Smith is on first for the Astros. Call strike right down the middle. 97-mile-an-hour fastball for Sproat. Woo, close pitch, but a little low and inside maybe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sproat pitching here. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on all the action here. Spring Breakout's a 4-day event showcasing baseball's future stars. The Mets' future stars are going to be facing the Nationals on March 16th. It's a 5 o'clock game. I believe that's a Sunday night. Got a foul ball on this. It's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Diaz is batting currently for the Astros. So Jet Williams is on that roster. Ooh, almost got a pick off there. That's a nice throw over to first. Carson Benji, is it Benji? And then Ryan Clifford. They're all going to be on the roster for the Mets. Other notable draft picks: Tapper to short, fielded by Lindor, throws over to first to retire him in time. There are 2 outs in the inning. The runner does advance to second on that play. There's no chance of a double play there. In fact, I think Lindor did good to get the runner out at first on that play. So, by the way, even if you don't have MLB TV, this is streaming for free today. So if you have the MLB.com account and you want to watch this game, this is a free game of the day. Vitalik, appreciate it. Hey, no worries. Yeah, I'm missing dinner right now. This is such a strange time for a game. So my wife is cooking up dinner for the kids, and I just told her I'll eat afterwards. So I actually said goodnight to the kids in case they went to bed before this game is over. It's great though overall. I love a 6 o'clock start time. You know that game will be done by 8:30, and it's like I'll still have stuff. But I appreciate you coming. Ooh, they almost got him at second. Sproat's got a really decent pickoff move here. So, by the way, my son's little league team last night actually pulled off a pickoff play. This is like AAA where there's no like leading, but they pulled it off afterwards. The kid was dancing off of first base, and they've been working on a move essentially where the first baseman still sneaks in, and then as soon as the ball gets thrown back to the pitcher, then the pitcher just turns and fires. Like kind of as nonchalant, and then they just turn and fire. And we actually got a kid yesterday. It's kind of fun because you know those kids that get dancing off the base. And that's a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes here for Singleton. Sproat is looking to get out of this inning with just the one little soft line drive here. I wonder if they're going to send the base runner here with 2 strikes. Try to just see if you can either steal third or liner. Oh, it's going to fall in, and that's going to score a run. So Astros are going to be up 1-0 here. Yeah, Siri kind of didn't get a good break on that ball. It sounded like it was hit hard, but it did not come hard off the bat. Let's see if they show. Yep, Siri took a couple steps back. He took 2 steps back, and by that point, it was too late to recover. So. All right. Chas McCormick is now up. Astros have a runner on first. It is 1-0 here in the first inning. Brandon Sproat pitching for the Mets. He has officially been assigned to the minor league roster, so he will not be breaking camp, but still getting some pitching in against major league talents. One of the best ways to get better is face people who are better than you. Push yourself, challenge yourself. and do it in a situation where you want to do well, but it's a low pressure situation. That is a ground ball to Lindor at short. He takes the quick, easy throw over to second base, and the inning is over. The Astros do score 1 run on 2 hits in that inning. We are going to commercial break. So, with that in mind, go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're MetropoliFins, YouTube's smallest New York Mets Miami Dolphins channel. So, appreciate you being here. Going back to what we were talking about previously, the spring breakout, which is like a Mets Future Stars game. Brendan Sproat will not be pitching in our breakout, but Jonah Tong will. And then some of the other players the Mets are going to have on that team, Jonathan Santucci, their number 13, and he was their second round draft pick last year, and Ryan Lambert, an 8th round reliever who's got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So yeah, I can put this up. I'll put this. This is the whole spring breakout roster. I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can see it. It'll be faster than all of this. We're on commercial break, so you're not missing anything. So the pitchers that the Mets are bringing on the spring breakout roster, and the ranking is their it's like their prospect ranking within the Mets organization. Some of them don't have rank, but if they're in the top 30 in the Mets organization, then they'll show that there. So Jonathan Santucci, Jonathan Pintaro, Ryan Ammons, Frank Elisalt, Ryan Lambert, Anthony Nunez, Douglas Orellana, Dylan Ross. Catchers are going to be Diverson Gutierrez, Christopher Suero, and Kevin Parada. I'd like to see him get a ranking around his overall. Infielders are going to be Jeff Clifford, Jeremy Rodriguez, Boston Barrow, Trey Snyder, Jacob Reimer, Colin Houck, Bowen Adderley, Corey Collins. Outfielders are going to be Carson Benji, Nick Morabito, Eli Serrano, Edward Lantigua, AJ Ewing, and Simone Juan. So that's going to be the roster. All right, so the Mets are all up. So we will get back to the action here. Lindor is leading off for the Mets. First pitch is right down the middle for a called strike one. This is Lindor's sixth game of spring training, 2 for 15, but you're not really worried about someone like Lindor. And honestly, you wouldn't be too worried about Lindor until about June. He's kind of a notorious slow starter. Hopefully this year it won't be quite as slow as what it's been in the past. But all right, fouled off by Lindor. It's no balls, 2 strikes to Lindor here. Bottom of the first inning, first Mets at bats. That ball is high. Juan Soto is on deck for the Mets. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lindor. That is also high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They're definitely going up on Lindor, trying to pitch him high. That one's just a little bit low. Full count. So after getting behind 0-2, they're showing Luis Guillorme. Here we go. Full count pitch to Lindor. And it's going to be a walk. Lindor worked the walk. Exactly what you want the leadoff hitter to do. Give it a good rip, but see a bunch of pitches and get on base. That's the job of the leadoff hitter. Soto home run. Well, Jonathan, I have covered 2 games for the Mets when Soto has played, and he's hit a home run in both of them. So let's see if we can keep that streak alive. I got my Juan Soto soda ready. Soto just got attacked by a bug. Here we go. First pitch. Ooh. Low and inside. I don't know if that was quite a strike. That looked a little low and a little inside, but all right, no balls, 1 strike. Juan Soto hitting here. See if Jonathan predicts the home run correctly. And it's a grounder to second. A great stop. A great stop by the second baseman to get that and get the ball over. So Soto replaces Lindor on first base on the fielder's choice there. All right, here we go. So Pete Alonso is now up. Mets are down 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Got one out. Juan Soto is on first base. He just replaced Lindor, who got on with the leadoff walk. And then Lindor was retired on fielder's choice. Just then, grounder to second. Ooh, wow, that ump is calling that kind of bottom left corner. He's calling that pitch a lot. It's close. It's close. I don't know. Think no one's going to challenge here in the first inning for something like that. At least not on first or second strike. And Pete swung right through that, so he strikes out swinging. All right. So 2 outs now here in the bottom of the first inning. Mark Vientos is hitting cleanup for the Mets today. So see if he can do something here to help the Mets keep this inning going. First pitch is ball to Vientos, hitting in the cleanup spot tonight. Next pitch, that's a grounder. Stopped by the shortstop, Guillorme, but not in time to first base. That's going to be an infield single for Mark Vientos. That was a really good stop by Guillorme. It would have taken a perfect throw to get Vientos. Some good defense by the Astros on the infield, just keeping the ball in the infield. Jesse Winker now is batting. Runner was going, but the ball is fouled out of play. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's an absolutely beautiful looking night at the stadium. If it's like it is over here, it was a beautiful day here as well. Still 1 ball and 2 strike. Oh, nice pitch. Right down the middle. Caught him looking. So Brendan Rodgers is out. That's the first out of the inning. Quincy Hamilton, the runner for the Astros, looks like he's going to be going. Yeah, it definitely cooled down here. Definitely not as much as it did there, but I think we cooled from the 70s to the 50s. The runner is going. Absolutely nailed him. He didn't even slide in the base. Francisco Alvarez to Francisco Lindor. Runner caught stealing, so that clears the bases. That was really weird because Hamilton didn't slide on that play at all. I mean, it was like, I don't know if Lindor kind of just deked him or what. It wasn't the best throw by Alvarez, but we got more pitch com issues for Sproat. They've got this PitchCom diagnostic thing, so we have more PitchCom issues here. Sorry, like, I don't want it to disadvantage teams, but to me, like, if if the PitchCom doesn't work after, like, 2 fixes, it just should be done. S Talk about, like, trying to keep the game fluid. Alright, and all that is a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Finally get through all the technical glitches. I don't want technical glitches in baseball. Like, I agree. They were saying, like, if you're having trouble with the pitch com in an inning, you should just have to go without it for the rest of the inning. I just don't think it should ever be an interruption to play. And he blows him away, swinging, third strike, gets out of the inning. So after a leadoff hit, uh, got out of the inning, no runs scored. It's still 1-0 Astros. Mets are coming up in the bottom of the second inning. So due up for the Mets will be Francisco Alvarez, Alexander Canario, and Jeff McNeil. So that's who is due up. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here today. We are MetropoliFins, YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. And while we're on commercial break, feel free. You can sign up for the chance to win the David Peterson rookie card. So we got that giveaway. It's going on. That is the pinned comment, or it's also the first link in the description if you're watching this on replay. So yeah, is it getting cold by everyone else? I haven't even looked at what is going on with the weather everywhere, but I know we had some showers and stuff come through last night, and it seemed like it was going to be doing some cold weather. Let's see. What is it? What is it here? Because I don't know. Let's see what it says the temperature is here right now. Let's see. What is our time? It says 61 here right now. So feels like 59. What are we getting? Going to get down to like 50 degrees here overnight, which is that's pretty chilly for Florida. But we get spared what most of the rest of the country. Alvarez swings at the first pitch here. We are in the bottom of the second inning. Mets are down 1-0. Alvarez strikeout total is a little high this spring, so definitely want to see him kind of get that work through before the season starts. Low ball 1 ball, 1 strike. Gusto is still pitching for the Astros. You're going to start to see these pitchers get stretched out a little bit more here. Maybe start going, trying to maybe start get through the lineup, or at least get into the second time through the lineup. That's called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Alvarez here. That one's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Francisco Alvarez. That ball's in the dirt. Full count. Francisco Alvarez working the count. That was a little foul ball inside. That would have been ball 4, I think, but I thought it for a second it was going to hit his hands, but I guess it's just a foul. Full count here to Francisco Alvarez. Bottom of the second. Nobody on, nobody out. Mets are down 1-0 to the Houston Astros early on here. Here we go. And that ball is low and outside. And Alvarez will get the walk. So Mets get a runner on this inning as well. And runner on last inning. Couldn't score. Alexander Canario is up for the Mets. Francisco Alvarez is on first. Mets are down 1-0. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it off to the third base side. So Canario became available when Justin Turner signed with the Cubs, I believe. And so now the question is he going to be able to crack the Mets opening day roster? We shall see. He launches that one. It's going to be caught. Got a little too much under it. If it hit it actually a little softer, it would have worked out better for him there. So 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Alvarez remains at first base. Gusto's at 24 pitches. Jeff McNeil's up. He gets a nice little round of applause. First pitch is a strike right down the middle. No balls. 1 strike to Jeff McNeil. I'd like to see Jeff get off to a nice, good start this season. Rips that one, but it's going to be right to the center fielder again. And there are 2 outs. So Alvarez remains on first with 2 outs here. Bottom of the second inning. Jose Siri is up for the Mets. He's hit some home runs this spring, so let's see what he has in store here. Bottom of the second, 2 outs. Francisco Alvarez on first. First pitch is a nice curveball in for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Balls in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Siri is kind of taking the Harrison Bader role. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I can't actually say his name because it messes up my phone. Jose Alexa. Jose Alexa is what we have to call him. I forgot about that. That's funny because as soon as I say his name, it messes up my phone. All right. And Jose Siri pops out to Luis Guillorme. That is going to be the 3rd out of the inning here. So Astros remain in the lead. So that is the end of the second inning. We're going to go to the top of the 3rd. Let's see if we have any subs. I'm going to expect they're going to leave Sprott out there a little bit longer. That's just my guess. I don't know for sure. We are on commercial break right now, so you're not missing anything. We're showing Pete Alonso highlights. You don't get like real commercials, which is fine, on the MLB TV. It's fine, but then after a while, all the little promo things they show get repetitive and boring after a while too. So doesn't matter what it was. I remember a couple years ago with MLB TV, they only showed like the same 4 commercials, and like that was absolutely the most boring thing in the world. I would just prefer it be silent, honestly. Like, I'm already paying for this service, right? So I would just prefer it to be silent. So, all right, Luis Guillorme is going to be leading off for the Astros here in the top of the third inning. Sproat is going to remain in the game. It's coming into the inning with 27 pitches, and 19 of those 27 have been strikes. So some of the hits have like kind of fallen in, but they haven't been like super hard contact. So it's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're pitching well and they just put the bat in the ball, and when that happens, first pitch is ball one, low and in the dirt. So future Met versus former Met. Sproat versus Guillorme. That ball is also low. 2 balls, no strikes. That ball's fouled away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Guillorme. They're showing the Luis Guillorme back catch from spring training quite a few years back. So Guillorme is batting. It is full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Guillorme. He misses. Ball 4. It was a good at bat by Guillorme there. All right, we're back to the top. Cooper Hummel is the leadoff batter for the Astros with Guillorme on first base. First pitch is a called strike, no balls and 1 strike. Be interesting to see how far they let Sproat go. Definitely getting the second time through the lineup here. That ball is softly grounded into right field. So Guillorme is going to go first to third. It's going to be runners on first and third here. Sproat's been pitching and hitting the strike zone, but it's just been everything's just been kind of hit it where they ain't, and that looks like that's going to be it. That is right at the 35 pitch limit exactly, so that's probably where it was. So we will have a pitching change. We'll let you know who's coming in next for the Mets here shortly. So not a horrible outing, but definitely not quite as sharp as the last time that he pitched. So Sproat will not be breaking camp with the Mets. He will be going to the minors. And that's fine. There's not a rush there. Have some time for him to develop over the weeks, maybe months ahead. Maybe we'll see him with the big league team at some point this year. Maybe not. All right, we are on a commercial break right now. Let me know if there's anything that you need to know. I'm going to go just check Mets.com, see if there's anything else that we are missing. I don't think there's any big news. I know there was lots of rumors about Starling Marte's continuous rumors Nonstop, I guess, interest by the Royals possibly, and all sorts of things, but nothing has actually transpired yet that has moved Marte. So until further notice, Starling Marte is with the Mets. All right. Trey McLaughlin is pitching for the Mets with runners on first and second. First pitch is high. So he pitched in Double-A and Triple-A last season, 37 games, a 2.34 ERA, 42 innings pitched. So pitching as a reliever. There's a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Astros have runners on first and second. We are in the top of the third inning. Nobody is out. Astros do have a 1-0 lead early on. Mets have gotten base runners, but unable to get anybody home so far. That ball is ripped. Bounces off of Vientos' glove. That's going to be a single into left field. 2-0 Astros with runners on first and second. He was all over that. 108 miles an hour off the bat is what they're saying. I mean, Vientos did a really good job to even get a glove on that. That's why they call it the hot corner. And that was absolutely ripped. This is a grounder to third. Vientos fields it, steps on third, and throws to first. A very nice play. There was a lot of moving parts in that play. A very good play by Vientos. Yeah, he just ran to the bag, stepped on it, threw to first. Very nice play. Definitely a highlight worth watching, especially coming off that hot shot that he was just ready to go off of that. So there are 2 outs now. Nobody scored on that because it's runners on first and second. Singleton is up for the Astros. Astros do have a runner on second here with 2 outs. We're in the top of the third. Astros are up 2-0. No balls and 1 strike to John Singleton. Ooh, that ball looked close. Are they challenging this? Oh, Alvarez missed. It was a ball. Alvarez challenged, but it was wrong. And he missed it. I understand missing high and low. You probably shouldn't be missing it inside and outside too much, but next pitch is a swinging strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes here. All right, here we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Check swing. Did he go? And he did. He could not hold up on the ball in the dirt. Strike 3. So Mets get out of that without any further damage. So I'm going to reboot the stream here too really quick. Stan from Westport, how's it going? How are you doing tonight? Not a stellar outing, not a horrible outing, but not a stellar outing for Brandon Sproat today. Not as impressive as last time. Good. Glad to hear you are doing well. This is the first evening baseball game I've been able to watch. Hello to all of you. Give you a nice little game reset here. It is 2-0 Astros. We're going to the bottom of the third. Brandon Sproat pitched okay, gave up 2 runs, will be his final line there, but he hit his spots pretty well. Threw lots of strikes, just lots of singles and bloops that just kind of fell in. tonight. Appreciate all you being here. We are MetropoliFins. We are YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. While we're on commercial break, if you want to, you can click on that pinned comment. We were doing a Nick Madrigal card giveaway, but then he got hurt and he's never actually played a regular season game for the Mets. So we're adding in a David Peterson card as well. So hopefully I will not be, sorry, it's hard to show it here without the reflection, but hopefully I will not be jinxing David Peterson because we definitely need him going into the season. Yeah, for sure. And honestly, it's the batters, all the major league hitters are just getting more and more warmed up as you just get in more weeks into the season. It just continues to build, right? Because everybody's getting better, everybody's hitting the practice. And, I think they say like early on in the season, pitchers kind of have the advantage, but as the season goes on, then hitters start to get better. But I would imagine there's a microcosm of that within spring training too. It's like when you haven't hit for a couple months, you see a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It's going to look really fast. But after, a couple of weeks of hitting the cages, you're going to get better. Your eye is going to come back really quick. So Lindor is leading off for the Mets in the bottom of the third here. It is 1-1 strike. So appreciate you. Feel free to chime on in the chat. If you're just watching with us, let us know who you are. My name is Craig. I've been a lifelong New York Mets and Miami Dolphins fan. How do you get there? Well, I was born in Florida, but I was raised in New Jersey in the 80s. And so my parents were already baseball fans, but of course in the 80s, there were no Florida baseball teams. And so in the 80s, if you live in New Jersey, the team that pick then is the New York Mets for sure. Lindor lifts it. Is it have enough to get out of here? No. There's been multiple balls that have been hit really well. And just the ball keeps getting knocked down tonight. So Yankees use a game one lineup, and we did go over the scores, but I didn't really dig into the box score at all on that. So, yeah, the wind seems to be knocking balls down today. There's been multiple balls that have looked hard. In fact, one fooled Jose Siri before that actually fell in. Plain Sharks, how's it going? I'm doing well. How are you doing tonight? Juan Soto is up for the Mets. So I've noticed most of the starting lineup is getting like 3 at-bats now. That ball is outside. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. So Soto is just absolutely phenomenal at working the count, getting on base. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So Gusto is at 35 pitches, still pitching for the Astros. That's low and inside. 3-0 on Juan Soto. I've got my one soda for Juan Soto ready to go in case he hits the bomb Soto. This is the third game that I've covered live with Juan Soto in it, and the first 2 he hit a home run. But today, at least not yet. That's a 4-pitch walk for Juan Soto. And that's going to bring up Pete Alonso in the 3-hole. Vientos is batting 4th, by the way. So it's that just for today. Nimmo is not playing today. Of course, they're just going to make sure they want him to be ready for opening day, so they're not going to push him too hard on anything. Here, Vientos is playing 3rd. No Beatty in the lineup today. Pete went for it on that first one. Totally missed it. No balls and 1 strike. So, yeah, it's just kind of weird doing a night baseball game. Ooh, ouch. Yeah. How many pitches did they let him pitch? Pete went for that high curveball, popped it up. It is going to get out of play, though. That was a bad pitch to swing at. Bad pitch for Pete to swing at. All right. Mets got Juan Soto on first, 1 out. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hello to all of you. Yankees lost. Stan is reporting for us. So for those of you who are like me, Yankees haters, you have something little to rejoice about today. Pete fouls that one off as well. It's going to remain no balls and 2 strikes. We're going to try to come to you guys with as many games live as we possibly can. The one way you can help me out in being able to do that, hit that like, hit that subscribe. The sooner we can get up to 500 subscribers, the better. I hate the Yankees less than I used to, Jonathan, and I think that has to do with the fact that they just haven't been as good recently. Like I know they made the World Series run last year. Pete fouls another one off. When I lived in the Northeast, it was a lot easier to hate them, especially in that late 90s to early 2000s, that time frame. It was just so easy to hate them. So I'm never going to root for them, but I definitely I've tempered in my personal hatred towards them. My hatred is much more towards the Braves and the Phillies. Like I don't want the Braves or the Phillies to even make the postseason. Like I don't even want them to have the opportunity to be in the World Series. And Pete fouls another one off. Pete is doing his best Luis Guillorme impression here today. It's still no balls and two strikes. I think we're about 6 pitches into this at bat. So, see, I've kind of have, and again, I live in the Southeast now, so I see more Braves. So I think where you live maybe has some. And Pete fouls another one off. They're starting to cheer for him, right? Like when the batter starts to foul off a lot of pitches. So they're referring to Luis Guillorme, who had a 22 pitch at bat. Pete is just 6 pitches in, but it's still no balls and 2 strikes. And that one's low. It's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. That's the 7th pitch of the at bat. We're going to keep track here. And Pete fouls another one off. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is 8 pitches into the at bat. And now they have the obligatory pan to Luis Guillorme, who's playing shortstop for the Astros. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 8 pitches in. Yeah, well, there's a lot of New York fans that are just absolutely wild. Like that's Mets and Yankees fans. And Pete goes down swinging on pitch number 9. So. Yeah, Pete was out in front of that last one. That was good for Gusto. It looks like he's coming out here. That's got to feel good for him to, obviously for Pete, that's not good. But for Gusto, the pitcher for the Astros, to battle through that at bat, a 9-pitch at bat, and finally get him struck out. That goes. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's so hard. I consider myself a pretty non-emotional Mets fan. Like I'm going to enjoy the moments, but when the game is over, I move on with my life. Like that's how I function. Like the Mets game is on, I'm going to enjoy the Mets game. If they lose 12-1 or if they win 12-1, either way, it's like I kind of move on. But yeah, no, I mean I agree. Yankee fans are generally ridiculous, and in general, I mean, I know WFAN's a lot different now, but I remember listening to it growing up, and the people who would call in, everybody's got their hot takes, but yeah, I just don't, and that's the thing. See, I don't get to listen to WFAN, so I think when you're not seeing it, but I do have to deal with Braves fans all the time down here in Florida, so I think that's where it kind of jumps up to a little more hatred there. So I bet your regionality, even of fans of the same team, would play a big difference in what you do. But I mean, no love lost for the Yankees. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, but I would rather see the Mets face the Yankees in the World Series and beat them than having to face the Braves or the Phillies in the NL playoffs or whatever. So that's just my take on it. But I totally get it, especially if you're living in the midst of it and in the midst of Yankee fans. Definitely. I totally understand that hate for sure. We showed this before, but I'll show it again because we got some different people in the room. Spring breakout is basically like a future star game for the Mets. They're going to be playing the Nationals Future Stars. So let me just show it to you really quick here before top of the. Oh, I guess we're still in the bottom of the third. We had a pitching change, is what it was. So you can kind of just look over really quick. This is who's going to be in the spring breakout game. I believe that's in 2 Sundays. And I think it's going to be live on MLB TV. I'm not sure my schedule that day, but if I can cover that, I will. So, so not everybody like Sprode and Tidwell, they're not going to be playing in this game, but Jet Williams, Ryan Clifford, Jeremy Rodriguez, they're all going to be in that game. All right. Vientos is up now for the Mets. Vientos is batting cleanup for the Mets today. No balls and 2 strikes right away here. Yeah, Stan. And then we've got our one Savage Batman, who's a Red Sox. He's a Red Sox fan and hates the Yankees. Just comes in and keeps saying Aaron Judge is overrated. Jonathan, it's the truth. I was thinking, like, imagine being born into like being a Patriots fan in like the mid-90s. Where they had a couple of good seasons, but nothing great. But you just get born into the Tom Brady era, just absolutely spoiled, or like being born into a Bulls family in the 80s, how easy that would have been. Let's go, Raul. Absolutely. It's a long season. It's a long journey, but I'm as optimistic as I've ever been going into a season for sure. This lineup is just good. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Vientos here. Mets do have a runner on first. Juan Soto got on with a walk earlier this inning. We've had a pitching change. That's why this inning is kind of dragging on a little bit. Oh, Vientos rips one. That's going to fall in. It's going to left field. Soto does not go first to third. It was going to be tough with the ball in front of him there. But there are 2 on with 2 outs. So that's really good to see from Vientos. So Mets have a little something going here. Yeah, Sproat wasn't as sharp today as he was the other pitching performance, but if you actually look at the hits, I mean, he was pitching strikes and they were kind of making some softer contact and just stuff fell in. First pitch, I guess they're going to say Winker swung at that. I didn't really think he did, but all right, Jesse Winker's up for the Mets, down 0-1 here in the count. Mets have 2 runners on, 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Houston Astros are currently up 2-0. So Winker fouls that one off as well. Yeah, so Sproat is not going to break camp with the Mets, and that was never an expectation. But there's certainly the opportunity for Sproat and Tidwell to work their way up, maybe come up as like a starting pitcher in a doubleheader, or if there's any sort of injuries, more injuries to the Mets pitching staff, or if they just progress so well that they're ready to give them the chance. There's definitely a chance that we will be seeing Sproat in the majors this season. That ball is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jesse Winker, looking to get a ribby here. Looking for that good old ribeye steak. So let's see what we can do. I shared on my I did a video yesterday for Little League coaches, but I shared on that. I'll share it here. My son hit his first legit triple yesterday. So as you know, in Little League, sometimes kids just end up throwing the ball around. That ball is high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kids throw the ball around, but he legit hit a line drive. Like, I think he doesn't think so, but I think if the fielder hadn't gotten to it, I think it could have rolled all the way to the fence. But he's fast. That's ball, low in the dirt, full count. So it was really exciting to see my son hit a legit triple, and he's still got to gain some more muscle before he's ready to hit a home run, but. I hope so, Stan. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a world championship. I have little hope that my Dolphins are going to do anything. That's a ball inside. Winker got behind 0-2 and worked a walk. That was a really good at bat for Jesse Winker. To be patient, be ready. All right, we got Francisco Alvarez coming up. Is that who's up? Josh Tong, yeah, so he's going to be in that futures game as well. He is currently the number 6 rated prospect in the New York Mets system. Bases loaded here for the New York Mets in the bottom of the third inning. They are down 2-0. This is the best opportunity they've had all game to turn this game around here. Francisco Alvarez is up. Bottom of the third. Bases loaded for the Mets. Mets are down 2-0. Let's go, Alvy. We need something here. Ooh, check to swing. Just outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Alvarez. There is nowhere to put him. Come on, I want to get excited here. I want to have something to cheer about. Let's go, Alvarez. That one's a strike. Just a little more on the outside corner there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Francisco Alvarez. Bases loaded. Bottom of the third. Waste his time. Let's get a big hit here. Alvarez had a kind of little rough start to spring, hoping that he's going to really break out and really become one of the top. Ooh, that was a nice pitch. Got him swinging there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I hope that Alvarez can have a nice breakout season here. So I think the pressure should be off of Alvarez. That's low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just overall for the season, when you have Juan Soto here, it just everything. It just lifts everybody up. Less pressure on everything. So we'll see. I'm going to be interested to see what we do in the offseason here. I guess the big question with the Dolphins is Tyreek Hill going to be on board? Here we go. Fouls that one off. That was a good pitch to like foul off there, because that easily could have dipped into the zone. I know, it was good. I wish I had a video, but I got to watch it. The thing was, he kind of ran slow down to first. He's like, I wanted to see if it was going out. I'm like, you can't do that, bro. You gotta run. You gotta run. Like, he made it to third on a slide. He could have made it standing up, I think. Oh, they got him. They got him on the check swing. That low and outside pitch is something Alvarez is going to have to get fixed. If he can learn to lay off that pitch, his batting average is going to go up. So the Mets leave the bases loaded, their best chance to score. I have nothing to be super excited about here. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. If you haven't yet done so, please hit that like and hit that subscribe. We are, it's a long journey, but we're on the journey to 500 subscribers. We want to get there as quick as possible and to give you lots of inspiration. We're doing giveaways all along the way. We were giving away a Nick Madrigal rookie card. We're still giving it away, but we're going to also add in a David Peterson rookie card that I also had here. So we're going to include both of those. As the subscriber number goes up, we're going to keep the giveaways going, and we're going to keep increasing the value of the stuff that we give away. So I just postponed the Nick Madrigal drawing, because right when we were going to draw it was when he was like out for the season. So it's like, well, let's give more people who might be interested in the sign up a little extra chance, and let's add a card. So I finally had time to sit down before the game today, figure out which card to add. And I think Peterson and McGill together could be just a great part of the Mets pitching staff this season. I mean, when you look at what Peterson did last year, I mean, if you kind of just did a blind stat line, you might not realize exactly how good he was for a good portion of the season. Let's see. So let me just bring that up really quick while we're talking here. I'm going to bring up David Peterson's. I don't know if there's any way to find like game by game, but let's bring this up here for you guys so you can see that. Last year, look at this stat line, guys. Look at this stat line. So I can't highlight just part of it. But 10 wins, 3 losses, 2.9 ERA in 21 games, 121 innings pitched with a 1.29 whip. And then if we kind of like break it down a little bit more down here, 46 walks, and then how many strikeouts? Where do they have that here? 101 strikeouts. I mean, it was an impressive season. And, it wasn't like the greatest season of all time, but I mean, it was just a good season. Yeah, that's what I told him. I told him that, Stan. I'm like, look, I'm a traditional fan, and I get it. Like he wants to, if he ever were to hit a home run, he'd want to see it, but he knew he hit it well, and it's like, so I talked to him about it. He's like, well, I just wanted to see where it went. I was like, yeah, but that slowed you down. I was like, I didn't slow down running. I'm like, yeah, you do. If you look at the ball that you hit, there's no way you're running as fast as you can. Just get there. Like, get there. Earn it. I mean, if there had been a bobble, it would have been the Little League inside the park home run. But it was a legit triple here. They got, by the way, Edwin Diaz is pitching, guys. Edwin Diaz is pitching this inning. Sorry, I just realized that. 3 balls and 1 strike. We are back in. Chas McCormick is up. He does lose him here and walks the first batter. I don't know if they played Timmy Trumpets or not at the stadium. I didn't realize. It makes sense, though. You want Diaz to come in while the starters are still in for the Braves. And so, obviously, this isn't – nobody cares who wins and loses this game. So you're trying to get reps, and you're trying to get your best guys to pitch against some of the best guys. So, all right, let's see what Edwin does with a runner on first. We are at the top of the 4th inning here. Astros are up 2-0. A little wild. That one's inside as well. 1 ball, no strikes. So Mr. Timmy Trumpets is having a little difficulty finding the strike zone here. Got Quincy Hamilton is up. He was caught stealing earlier, I believe. Yeah, I believe he is the one who was caught stealing by Alvarez. All right, 1 ball, no strikes, no outs. Top of the 4th, runner on first. McCormick goes, and he steals second without a throw. No throw on that one. I don't think Diaz is even concerned at all about like holding runners on right now. I think he's just trying to zone in on strike zone. That one is popped up to center field. Jose Siri is under it. They are not going to tag on that play. All right, that's the first out of the inning. Top of the 4th, 2-0 Astros. Edwin Diaz is in. All right, Brendan Rodgers is now up for the Astros. I had to do Timmy Trumpets a little bit at least. First pitch fouled away. All right, Edwin looks like he's kind of gotten locked in. Oh, wow. Wild pitch. I mean, the runner was going, so I don't know how you score that officially. Yeah, so it would have been a wild pitch, but because the runner was running, I don't know if they're going to count as a stolen base. We'll see what they. Next pitch is going to be hit to left field. That'll score a run. Ball keeps bouncing. And Rodgers is going to cruise into second with an easy double. He was absolutely on that one. He was waiting for that pitch. Yeah, just his whole control is off right now. But that's why, you try stuff out in spring training. You try stuff out, and, a small percentage of people who are going to struggle in spring training, that'll carry over. But the vast majority trying stuff. So hopefully he gets it worked out. Next one is ripped. That's ripped to first, or ripped down the first base line. And Alvarez can't handle the throw. They had him. They had him at home. Alvarez could not handle the throw. Well, that's 4-0 here. So this is definitely not a good inning for Edwin Diaz here. They're just jumping right on Edwin Diaz. So just be thankful this is not like a playoff game or anything. It's the 4th inning in a spring training game. And they just steal right away on him. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense why you're doing it, but I honestly think Edwin Diaz literally doesn't care right now. If he's just focusing on his pitching mechanics, you just kind of let everything else go. That was a good pitch. Luis Guillorme is up now, former New York Met. Yeah, this is not a great performance for Edwin here. By the way, if you want to watch along with us, this is actually the free game of the day on MLB. So even if you're not a subscriber, as long as you're not in a blackout area, you should be able to watch this game. That ball's down the way. 2 balls and 1 strike. Making an interesting point, too, because Houston is running like crazy against Diaz here. Is that something that they should be doing in the spring? Because the Mets are going to open up the season against the Astros. So I wonder if it would be wise, or if it would have been, it's too late now. Would it have been wiser for them to just like not run on Diaz here and not give that away? It'll be interesting here too, because that's a good pitch. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 4th. 2 runners are in this inning. The Astros are 4-0. That ball's fouled away. Former Met Luis Guillorme is at the plate. Current Met Edwin Diaz is pitching. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We want to come to you guys with as many live streams like this once the regular season hits. I appreciate you guys doing this, hanging out with me for spring training. I think our momentum's only going to keep growing from there. Woo! Guillorme hits the deck on an inside pitch. It's going to be a full count. Diaz is even smiling after that one. Yeah. I mean, I would love to just see sticky stuff come back into the game in general, but all right. Gets Guillorme to pop it up here. Oh, and Lindor drops it. Not really dropped, never got it. It's technically not going to. I think that was Canario's ball. I'm not sure. This is just an ugly inning. I'm going to tell you, it's a good thing this is not like a regular season game, because talk radio would go nuts. No, that was Canario's ball. All right. Remember, that was literally Diaz's spring debut. You know, it's like, I'm not going to put too much into that. You know, I know some Mets fans will panic. I'm not going to panic over a spring debut. You know, you're just getting out there to pitch and just kind of shake the rust off and stuff like that. Obviously, it's not a good inning. But I'm not going to be like, oh my goodness, Edwin Diaz is cooked. He's cooked. He can't pitch anymore. That was the worst trade ever. We want Jared Kelenic back. What do you guys think on the sticky stuff in general? I'm not talking just Edwin Diaz here now. I just think with the precision that you want these pitchers to be pitching with, I understand that it increases the spin rate, which then decreases the offense. That seems to be all that MLB cares about. Well, 2 things they care about: faster games and more offense, which kind of generally tend to go against each other. But I wish the pitchers could just go back to having, sticky stuff. The amount of batters who are getting hit because pitchers don't have optimum control of the ball. I would just like to see that come back. I mean, I haven't studied it like super deep, but especially when you see a lot of these batters getting hit in the head, and like, to me, pitching inside is such an important part of the game. And okay, yeah, something like that. There's just got to be, if you want to, but there's got to be some more control. Pitchers just need to have more control with the speeds that they're throwing at, and because otherwise you just basically say, well, look, you're going to risk injuries to your batters. Yeah, Stan. They'll maybe the two of them get together and have a beer afterwards. All right, so we do have a pitching change here. Alfred Vega is coming in for the Mets. He's pitched in one game so far this spring training. He's out of the Dominican Republic. And in the one game he did in spring training, pitched 1 1/3 innings, had a strikeout. I'm trying to see if I can find any more details on that outing, but Hummel is going to drive that one to right field. Soto catches that. There's going to be 2 outs here. Top of the 4th inning, 4-0 Astros. Yeah, that was a very ugly performance. So, ugly performance by Edwin Diaz. But his first live action, real game of it. Oh, I mean, is there any rule that has to be changed for that to come on, Jonathan? You know me. You know I'd hate that. I don't like ads on the uniforms. I don't like any of that stuff. But it's the world we live in now. I mean, probably for the Mets, they got to pay for Juan Soto somehow. Can only charge so much for a hot dog. Okay. I just don't know if I don't know what the rules are on it, if it's just a matter of the team has to choose or if it actually has to be approved by MLB or something. But the one group of people that I actually want to wear advertisers is politicians. It'd be really nice to know, like, when they walk into Congress, they'd have to have all the logos of all the corporations that they are taking donations from, so you can see who's, you know. That's the one place I don't mind seeing ads, but I don't like ads in baseball. And is it going to come to football too? Like, is it going to just come everywhere? 2 balls and 2 strikes here. We'll see if the Mets start to empty their bench here after this. Yeah. See if Vega can get out of this inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grounder to short. Lindor tosses it to second, and the Mets do get out of the inning. So 4-0. 4-0. Well, this is why I don't recommend you. I don't recommend you bet at all, but definitely don't be betting on spring training baseball. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that Edwin's going to have a great season. I'm just saying you definitely can't. I remember this is maybe more football, but I think I remember even them doing baseball commercial all the time was Tinactin. Of course, John Madden had the sponsorship with them, boom, tough Afton Tinactin. But yeah, or I could see like this close shave, like a shaving company, right? Yeah, I know. Just literally just a walking. And then can we get to the point where it's like an electronic billboard? So like as when you're at the plate, your uniform's gonna have like one advertisement if you make it to first. then you can be like, yeah, real man of genius. 80s and 90s commercials were amazing. I also remember, you guys remember Spud McKenzie for Bud Light? Remember the Spud McKenzie commercials? And then, of course, the Energizer Bunny was absolutely iconic. Yeah, exactly. Like NASCAR vehicles, or I don't know if you guys have any of the trucks around you that have like the digital billboards. Like literally, you could just have like a digital, you know, like actually running legit commercials off the back of their uniforms. They're doing an interview with Edgardo Alfonso on the broadcast right now, too. Yeah, the Noid. Avoid the Noid. Yeah, the Noid was good. All right, Canario's leading off for the Mets here. I'm going to kind of listen to the interview too with Edgardo Alfonso. So 1-1 to Canario. Josh Hader, looks like Josh Hader is in for the Astros. I wonder if he's also getting his first pitching of the spring. Well, let's just do to Hader what we've done to Hader before, and what they just did to Edwin Diaz. That is low and inside. It's going to make it 3-1 to Canario. That ball is grounded to second, and Canario is going to be out. So it got to a hitter's count, but that wasn't really a good swing for a hitter's count. All right, here we go. Let's see who is. Let me get this. Jeff McNeil is now up for the Mets, batting in the 8-hole. 1 ball, no strikes. Going on. We'll do after this inning. How about we'll do a little scoreboard update so you can all bash on the Yankees a little bit more here too. Two balls, no strikes to McNeil. I'm liking overall what I'm seeing from McNeil this spring. That was a little low. 3 balls and no strikes to McNeil. For the record, the Mets have 2 hits this game. Both are by Mark Vientos. So 2 hits in the game, both Mark Vientos, and one of them was an absolute shot. So that's called strike in the outside corner. I know. Edgardo Alfonso. And that's low. Ball 4. McNeil works the walk. So the Mets have had base runners. They just haven't had hits. And they certainly haven't had timely hits. That's kind of been the issue, is no hits, and then the bases loaded didn't score. All right. Jose Siri is up for the Mets. First pitch is a called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Woo! Swung through that one. No balls and 2 strikes. See what we got here. See if Siri can make something out of this at bat here. Already down no balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the fourth, Mets are down 4-0. That's low. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jose Siri. Jeff McNeil is on first with a walk. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. We got 7 people hanging out with us, talking Mets and really all things sports here tonight. Appreciate you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Siri fouls that one back. Oh, yep, I can't say the name. I got to say Jose Alexa because I'm watching the game on my iPhone. Jose Alexa. Some kid in the crowd just told Jose Siri to hit a home run. Wow, that was close. That I can't believe that they didn't challenge that. That sure looked like strike 3 to me. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jose Alexa. Whew, that one is in the dirt, gets all the way back to the backstop. McNeil moves to second base easily. That was a wild pitch. That wild pitch was as wild as Edwin Diaz's pitch. That was like wild. All right, Mets have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Still only have 2 hits, 2 Mark Vientos hits on the game. That's all they've done. So all the superstars in the lineup, and Mark Vientos is the one who's and Siri swings through that on the 3-2 pitch, and he is out. Let's see, is Lindor coming up? Are we going to see everybody a third time? That's always a question here. Most of these guys have been starting to play, get 3 at bats. It's been pretty consistent here the last couple weeks. We need something here. Let's go, Lindor. First pitch is a strike, no balls, and 1 strike to Francisco Lindor. There we go. Rips it under the third baseman's glove. He should have had that. McNeil is going to, cuts it off. McNeil's going to score. Mets are on the board. No shutout today. That's probably, honestly, more on the third baseman. Are they going to count that as a hit? It shouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe. I want to see the replay here. I mean, it's probably not technically an error, but it's definitely a mechanics error for sure. All right, so it's 4-1. Mets are finally on the board here. Lindor gets the single, therefore he gets the RBI. McNeil scored on that play. Lindor is on first. Juan Soto is up. This very well could be his last at bat of the game. I don't know. Maybe they'll let him. It's only the 4th inning, so we shall see. See if Soto's got something up his sleeve here. Rips it up the middle. Guillorme makes the stop. Throws to first, and the inning is over. The Mets do score 4-1. It's a great play by Guillorme. That's just how it goes. All right. I'm going to be right back here in a second. And so let's do this. I'll let you guys all say hi. I'll let you say hi to my old piggy bank. Wave. All right, I'll be right back. Whatever you don't need, whatever you don't need to see on the okay? Sam from Westport says congrats to Zion on this triple. Sam from Westport? Alright. Just make sure everybody's just right. It's time to shut up. Yep. Yeah. All right, we are back. Genesis Cabrera is pitching here in the top of the fifth inning. The Mets did score that last inning. It is 4-1 Astros. We're at the top of the fifth. Yanier Diaz is up for the Astros. Count is 1-1 strike. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us here tonight. We are MetropoliFins, YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. We're also going to, it'll be kind of quick, but we'll get a NCAA March Madness bracket up. It'll be just completely for fun. But anybody who wants to join, it'll be from this channel and my other YouTube channel too. And that's a strikeout there for Genesis Cabrera. Is it Genesis or Genesis? I know the Bible, so I just see it and it looks like Genesis to me. That was a good pitch. Good pitch. All right, there's one out here in the top of the fifth inning. So we're going to be talking, all things sports on the channel. John Singleton. John Singleton is up for the Astros here. I'm trying to see. Doesn't look like the Mets did any defensive substitutions yet. So all the starters are still in the game here at this point. That's a strike. 2-1 strike to John Singleton with Genesis Cabrera pitching here. And swing and a miss. He's pitching really well. His pitches look sharp tonight here. 2 strikes. Top of the fifth inning. Mets finally got a run on the board on a oopsie single by Francisco Lindor. I guess technically the third baseman didn't touch it, so it's not actually an error, but I think most people would agree that that was a ball that, in the very least, he should have gotten a glove on and probably should have gotten the runner out. That one's low. Full count, 3-2 strikes. Let's see what we got here. So the payoff pitch is coming up. That's going to be low. Ball 4. They lost him. Just when I said he was looking good, then he ends up losing him. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. Just talking some Mets baseball. On 1 no strikes on Chas McCormick. I'm gonna reboot the stream here really quick. Technical difficulties has been the thing. All right, and that is going to be a double. Sorry, Chas McCormick flew out for 2 outs. Quincy Hamilton doubles, and that. All right, Brendan Rodgers is up. He had a good hit earlier tonight. First ball is fouled off. Just 5-1 Astros. Sorry, reset here for everybody. 5-1 Astros. Brendan Rodgers is up. Genesis Cabrera is in pitching. He has 14 pitches so far in the inning. No balls, 1 strike. Runner on second for the Astros. Just scored a run on a double here. And that looks like it's going to be a pop out here going to Soto. And he does catch that one, and that will end the inning. Well, and the top half of the 5th as it is. Mets are going to be coming up in the bottom half of the 5th. Of course, you just never know at this point in time who is going to be subbed in or subbed out at this point. But due up currently is Pete Alonso, Mark Vientos, and Jesse Winker. Vientos has 2 of the Mets' 3 hits today, including the best hit of the Mets by far. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a little scoreboard update for all of you, for those of you who are maybe fans of other teams or just kind of following or tracking other things that are going on. All right, here we go. I feel like I've seen this one before. Let's see. Let me go to the full scoreboard here. So the Marlins-Braves game is in the top of the 7th. It is 0-0. The Marlins have 1 hit. The Braves have no hits. So we have a spring training no-hitter alert. Spring training no-hitter alert. All right. The Orioles are ahead of the Pirates 5-4. That's in the 5th. Of course, our game is 5-1 Astros. We've got a handful of games that are going to be starting over the next half an hour or so. That includes Royals at Cubs, Diamondbacks at Guardians, and Brewers at Athletics. And a couple games later than that, which is Angels at Mariners and Mariners at Diamondbacks. So you basically just got a bunch of different split squad games going on and stuff. All right, earlier in the day, the Nationals beat the Cardinals 12-1. Rays beat the Phillies 5-4. Twins beat the Yankees 8-4. And as you guys were mentioning, Garrett Cole got absolutely rocked. But then again, so did Edwin Diaz tonight. So Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 7-4. Dodgers beat the Rangers 8-4. Shohei Ohtani had 2 hits in that game. Rangers beat the Padres 8-2 for their other split squad game. And then the Giants beat the White Sox 7-3. All right, Pete Alonso is going to lead off. So Mets are not making any subs here. He's going to rip that first one right up the middle. So we got a hit for Pete. After 2 strikeouts. That's good. Glad to see. Are they going to pull him? I just wonder. I feel like this is probably where a lot of the Mets, are they going to let him run? Keep him in the game? Who knows? All right. Mark Vientos is up. He has 2 hits tonight, 2 for 2. He also had a really nifty play at third base earlier in the game. Wait. Oh, it was a strike, and Vientos challenged it, and it remains a strike. And that is the Mets lost challenge. So the Mets are out of challenges. All right, no balls and 1 strike to Mark Vientos. Bottom of the 5th. Mets are down 5-1. Fouls that one off of his foot. No balls and 2 strikes to Mark Vientos. Vientos has definitely had the best game, I think, of any of the Mets position players tonight for sure. Maybe of everybody. Diaz didn't look great. Genesis Cabrera didn't look great. Sproat was fine, but not stellar. But Vientos missed a really hard play at third. Made a really nifty kind of double play. And 2 hits on the night. So I've been predicting that Vientos might have a sophomore slump, but I am fully on board with him just picking up right where he left off. So Vientos fouls that one out. Pete Alonso is on first he got his first hit of the day a little bit earlier. So appreciate everybody hanging out. Feel free to chime in. Let us know what's going on in your life, what you're feeling about Mets. And if not, we'll just keep you updated. Let's do that. That one missed inside. That one looked kind of like a strike too. But 2 balls and 2 strikes to Marky V. What's his nickname? Like Swaggy V or something like that. All right, here we go. Fouled it off. Barely stayed alive. Catcher couldn't hold on. All right. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. And the pitch. He rips it. That's his 3rd hit of the night. Pete's just going to go to second on that. It was hit so hard. 3 for 3 for Mark Vientos. Jesse Winker comes to the plate. 2 runners on. The Mets have had just all these chances and just not been able to really get. They had the 1 hit off of Lindor or with Lindor, but Winker fouls that one back. But they haven't really. They have bases loaded, couldn't get a clutch hit. I think this is the 3rd time that Winker's come up with 2 runners on today. Really could use a hit right now. Ooh, swung at a bad pitch there. No balls and 2 strikes to Winker here. Mets have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Down 5-1 in a game that doesn't matter one bit, but we're still watching it because that's what we do. That's what we do as Mets fans and as baseball fans too. Are you guys watching any other spring training games like other than the Mets? That one's just a bit high. Waved at it, but didn't go all the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So do you like go all in? KC, how's it going? Hope you are doing well here tonight. Hope you're doing better than the Mets. Hope you're doing way better than Edwin Diaz did tonight. That's for sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Winker's battling back here, even up the count. Mets have runners on first and second in the bottom of the 5th, down 5-1. It's just another opportunity the Mets have here to try to get some runners home. Oh, called looking. That might have been low, but the Mets were out of challenges, so there's no challenge in there. Just kind of froze him, though. Not going to lie, you got to swing at that pitch. He was not looking for that. He must have been looking fastball. All right, well, 1 out. Francisco Alvarez is coming up. Alvarez has been struggling. Yeah, Edwin Diaz pitched like the 4th inning, just got absolutely rocked. Alvarez fouled that one back. Yeah, no, the Mets, almost all their starters are starting today. So Brandon Sproat was the pitcher. He gave up 2 runs, 3 innings, I think, something like that. But yeah, no, I mean, Mets had their full lineup today. So Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Winkers, Alvarez, Canario in for Nimmo, who's still just kind of healing up, McNeil and Siri. So pretty much other than Nimmo, what you could expect to be a potential opening day lineup. So they're just not getting key hits. Mets are getting runners on, walks and stuff like that, getting lots of runners on, but just can't punch anybody home. All right. It's 0-2 on Alvarez. Alvarez is just having a tough spring. That one's low and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Francisco Alvarez. Be nice for him to have a big hit right here. How about a double to right center? Fouled off once again. Yeah, it is. Like almost all the initial spring training games were like daytime games, and now like the Mets have started. Almost all the Mets games that I was looking at coming up were like night games, except for maybe the weekend ones. But it's good for the players though, because otherwise they're used to day games and they just go right into regular season. Alvarez fouls another one off. Well, we've seen some good at bats tonight, even if the final results. Pete Alonso had a 9 pitch at bat. Alvarez is battling here. So that's good. The fact that Alvarez is battling here maybe shows that he's starting to see the pitches a little bit better here. I definitely want to see him have the best season of his career this year. Fouls another one off. I haven't been counting this one. Lots of free souvenirs for the fans with just so many foul balls. I bet you someone's going to go home with at least 2 foul balls from this game. And get some swinging. Similar to Pete. Pete had a good at bat, but ended up striking out swinging. So does Alvarez. So Mets had first and second, nobody out. Now it's first and second with 2 out. Yeah, he was looking fastball, and the changeup got him. I did actually, KC. I went to a spring training game with my 2 oldest kids on Sunday. So, tried to do a little pickoff play there. Pete doesn't look happy about that. So yeah, I got to put the video together. All right, here we go. Canario is up for the Mets. He has not had a particularly good day. He has not had a particularly good spring so far. One ball and no strikes. Foul ball. Lots of foul balls tonight. So yeah, we walked into church on Sunday morning, and one of the pastors was like, "Hey," like he knows us. He's like, "Are you guys interested in going to a spring training game today?" And I was like, "Well, tell me more." And he's like, "Someone from the church has like spring training season tickets or something like that, and they weren't going to the game." Another foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Like, so it comes with the parking pass and 4 tickets, and we took 3 of them. I mean, it essentially was 4 of them anyway, but we went, and it was a lot of fun. My son got a foul ball, and we got some cheese curds, so it was a good day. But I recorded all. I just haven't had time to make that video yet. I got to probably try to get that up soon. Maybe tonight I'll work on that. We'll see. We'll see. See how long this game goes. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Canario. Mets have runners on first and second, down 5-1 here at the bottom of the 5th inning. See if they can get a clutch hit, because that has just been missing tonight. And we don't. Swing and a miss. Absolutely. And not only that, Jonathan, it came with a free parking pass, which that's like $15 even for spring training. So free tickets and a free parking pass. So all we had to do was pay for the gas. And then we bought I got 2 things of cheese curds. It cost us $15. My kids shared one, and I shared one with myself. So I was gonna get a hot dog, but it was like $10.50. There is no hot dog that I could get at a baseball game that I'm paying $10.50 for. Like, I think my hot dog limit is probably like between $6 and $7. Like, I know I'm gonna pay up because of where I'm at, but I'll pay up for the experience of it. But I'm not paying $10.50 for a hot dog I could get from the Costco, cafeteria for like $2 and you get a free drink. I'm like, I'll just let Costco solve my hot dog cravings. But we had a lot of fun. It was a good game. And then the kids got to run the bases at the end too, which was really cool. So that was never anything I got to do as a kid. So. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like, I'm willing to pay up a little bit for the experience, but yeah, I mean, I forget what it is. Isn't like the Costco at Costco, you can get the hot dog and the drink with unlimited free refills, and it's like $3 or something like that. So I'm like, but cheese curds, that's a little harder to duplicate at home. And I'm like, it's mostly protein. Protein-ish. So I was like, I'll do that. It's like, yeah, I know, like, when you go to the movie theater, you're gonna overpay for popcorn too, but it's like some of it's the experience. It's just fun to have something to eat. No, I have not. I have not had a dirty dog. Tell me more. Tell me more. We're talking about food. I'm hungry, so supper is ready, but I'm gonna stick with you guys through the game. But supper wasn't ready before the game started, and my kids have all eaten. They're getting ready to go to bed. I think they're watching. I think my son's watching the game right now too. So I don't probably won't get to watch the end of it. Let's see. Are the Mets making subs? I think the Mets have subs. Yeah. All right. I'll start posting all these subs here. All the Mets starters or most of the Mets starters are out. So let me post these really quick so you can see them. Donovan Walton replaces Francisco Lindor. Diego Musquero replaces Juan Soto. I'm going to post all these in the chat too, just so you guys can see them as well. Joey Meneses replaces Pete Alonso. Luis Angel Acuna, well, it's good to see him playing again because he got injured a little bit the other day. He replaces Mark Vientos. Luis Torrens replaces Francisco Alvarez. Omar De Los Santos replaces Alexander Canario. It was not a good night for Canario. And then we'll post the pitching change as well, which is Anthony Gose, who actually just struck out the Astros batter. So those are all the updates. We won't normally be doing this during the regular season. There's not usually this many changes, but different things. All right, let's see. There's a guy on YouTube trying all the hot dog stands in New York City. Oh, it's cool. Found a guy outside Central Park selling dogs for 30 years. That's super fun. I saw there's a guy on, I don't know if it's YouTube or Instagram or whatever, one of those. And he is trying to eat through the entire Cheesecake Factory menu in a year. There's something like 280 different items. It's going to go to Cheesecake Factory like 280 different times in a year. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gose. Our Gose is pitching to Luis Guillorme. That's super cool. Yeah, just like guys who've been doing it for a long time. That's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gose is looking good here. All right, let's do a little research. Let's find out a little bit more about Anthony Gose. So far, the best pitching I've seen by the Mets all night. That one's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. All right. He has pitched in 3 games. Hold on, let's check this out. I know it's just spring training, but still. You got to give props to guys who perform. And that ball is going to fall in it for a single for Luis Guillorme. But let's check this out here. 3 games, 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, no runs. 0.67 whip. That just went up with that hit. And then last year, he's been in the Cleveland organization for the last few years. Last year wasn't a great year, but anyway, definitely someone to keep an eye on. That ball is popped up. This is Cooper Hummel. No balls and one strike. Cooper Hummel. Anthony Gose is pitching. Cooper Hummel up for the Astros. Former Met Luis Gourmet is on first. That's a foul ball, too. No balls and two strikes. Astros are up 5-1 in the top of the sixth. And he gets him swinging. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I know Guillorme got the hit, but his pitches have been good. I would definitely. I haven't heard anything about Ghost making the roster out of camp, but if he can keep pitching like this, I could see him, especially as a lefty. I mean, one of the best talents you can have is to be a left-handed pitcher. That's a nice pitch. Called strike one. No balls and one strike. This is the best pitching I've seen any Mets pitcher do tonight. I'm just going to tell you that. It's sharp. It's changing his speeds, changing locations. Let's see if he can continue. That one, wow. See, that was just a good swing on a ball. Out to center. Runners to the corners. But, I mean, that was just a good hit. That wasn't All right, here we go. Here's the pitch. And he's going to hit that. Is it going to fall in? Nope. It's going to hold up enough. So that will retire the side. By the way, Sharon, how are you doing tonight? Appreciate you hanging out with us. I hope you are having a great day. So we are going to commercial break. All right. So let me do this really quick. If you haven't yet signed up for our giveaway, we're giving away both a Nick Madrigal and a David Peterson rookie card. We're going to give them away together as a bundle. It was going to be just a Nick Madrigal giveaway, but once he got hurt, I don't want to rescind it in case you happen to be a Nick Madrigal fan. But at the same time, I wanted to add something more, so we added this. So if you click on that link that is the pinned comment, you're just going to come to this page. All you have to do is put in an email address, and that will enter you into the drawing. We're going to do the drawing soon now, before I risk David Peterson getting hurt. So we're going to do that. So you can sign up there. All you have to do is provide your address or your email address. You don't need to provide your mailing address unless you win. And even if you don't win, you're going to get a discount code to my eBay store. So if you're looking for sports cards or sports memorabilia stuff, we'll have stuff in there as well. So you can do that. It's the pinned comment if you're watching live, or it's the link down in the description if you are watching on replay. So we'd love to have you join in. Good luck. And once you enter, then you're entered for all future drawings too. We're going to keep it going. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So that's what we've got. We'll do a full reset here. Of course, we're to the point where, I mean, maybe there's interesting performances, but there's really not that much that's going to happen in this game that's going to be of significant value for the Mets. So we can talk about anything and everything. We'll kind of get on the let's go check out the Mets site, see if there's any breaking news of anything. All right. Mets are up. Jeff McNeil is still in the game. He's one of the few starters who hasn't come out yet. So McNeil is staying in and leading off. I would imagine if he gets on base, they'll probably pinch run for him. But sometimes I'm sure these players can say, hey, coach, manager, whatever, I really want to get the reps. No, 1 ball and 2 strikes to McNeil. McNeil had a good outing the other day, Jonathan. I think you're going to I don't think the Mets are going to be in a rush to move McNeil simply because until they know Nimmo's status. In the same way, they're not going to be in a rush to move Marte. He does strike out swinging here. That doesn't go good for my argument that McNeil's been looking good overall this spring, but all right, Jose Siri is the other Mets starter who is remaining in the game here. So maybe they just left him in so they'd each get their third at bats. That might be the reason why. I would expect both of them to be out after this inning. No balls and 2 strikes to Jose Alexa. Rips one right to the third baseman, though. That was a good shot, but former New York Met Zach Short makes the play on that one. All right, so now we are back to the top of the Mets lineup. Luis Angel Acuna is the batter. First pitch swinging, and he grounds to short. And that is going to do it. That's going to end the inning for the Mets. So a rather mundane, boring inning for the Mets there. It is still 5-1 Astros. We're going to the top of the 7th inning. But we are in the midst of spring training for us as well, getting ready to try to cover as many of these games as possible for you once we get to the regular season. So the way you can help me out, if you're enjoying the broadcast, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you've got New York Mets fans, share it. Say, hey, look, got a place, super casual. Try to keep it super clean. Honestly, I've shared this before, but it's really important to me that this is a family-friendly channel because there's lots of really good New York Mets content creators out there, but there's very few that I feel right into football season. We'll occasionally cover other random sports things too. We're not going to be putting ESPN out of business anytime soon, though they may do that to themselves. I don't know. But we're just going to try to be a kind of a cool place to just hang out, talk sports, talk life every now and then too. So I appreciate you guys. So if you haven't already done so, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Help out a small little channel on our slow and steady journey to 500 subscribers. We still need another 384 to go. All right. We do have. So the reason we didn't see Brett Beatty is because they're going to give him play at second base. So there we go. So Brett Beatty is coming in for Jeff McNeil. Jose Azocar is coming in for Jose Siri. Those are your defensive replacements. And then for pitching, Rico Garcia is coming in for Anthony Gose. And the count is 1-1 to Castro of the Astros. Astro. Ground ball to Donovan Walton. He, at shortstop, he makes the play, throws him out at first. So we got one out in the top of the 7th inning. So I think you're going to see Brett Beatty break camp with this team. I think between being able to play second, being able to play third, being able to free Mark Vientos up to be designated hitter, free McNeil up to go play the outfield occasionally if you want to have McNeil starting if Nimmo's going to be out. So I don't even know. We'll see if Beatty will probably get up once. Probably only get one at bat this game. But yeah, I've heard rumors of that too, Jonathan. Has there actual video of that? I'd have to go digging. So I think Beatty knows if he can add versatility to his repertoire, it's going to give him a better shot of being able to stay up with the team. Of course, his bat needs to be there too. So, but it's interesting, right? So even with subbing in here, they got Acuna. They got Acuna playing third and Beatty playing second. So don't think that that's unintentional. That is, you might think that it would be the opposite. I don't see any reason why you would break camp with Acuna at this point in time. His spring has been not great. What is Acuna batting on the spring? 143 on the spring. And obviously, he provided a spark when he came up. Maybe I think Beatty's I think Beatty's going to put it together here. I don't know if he's ever going to be superstar level. I don't know if he'll ever get to the level that maybe we were first expecting. But I'm all on board wanting to keep Beatty here. That's another foul ball. It's a full count. Chas McCormick is up, still in the game for the Astros here. Sometimes it doesn't work. Someone's got to refresh the stream. So we're headed to the top of the 8th inning. So we've got kind of not a lot of anything really going on. We already went over the games that have finished, but let's just go over the scores here really quick of the games in action. The Marlins Braves game that was a no-hitter is no longer a no-hitter. That game is 1-1 in the bottom of the 9th. The Orioles and Padres are 5-5 in the top of the 8th. Royals and Cubs are in the 3rd inning, 0-0. Diamondbacks at Guardians are in the bottom of the 1st, 0-0. And at the end of 1, the Brewers lead the Athletics 1-0. And then there's Angels at Mariners, split squad, and Mariners split squad at Diamondbacks. Those games are both in warm-ups, going to be started soon. If you're following World Baseball Classic, Brazil is up 2-1 on Germany in the middle of the 2nd inning. So that's a little bit of everything that's going on scoreboard-wise right now. As I mentioned, and I believe was it Jonathan who mentioned it? I think it was Jonathan who mentioned it earlier. Sorry if it wasn't. If it was somebody else, I'm giving Jonathan credit for someone else. But yeah, Sean Reed Foley did accept an assignment, and it was not claimed off of waivers, so he was willing to go back down. And of course, you got to make good business decisions when you're in baseball, and so he just chose that, hey, staying in the Mets organization was the best play for him. Probably he figures the best chance for him to get back to the majors. And I think it was cool how the Mets did it because they let him go sooner, and that gave him the opportunity to try to find another team if he wanted to, or if he thought there was an option. And so it's good for organizations that treat their players well in situations like that. Yeah, and they're mentioning on the broadcast, they did the same thing with Starling Marte. Like they told him, they kept him in the know. By the way, there's one out here in the top of the 8th inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is Grant Hartwig is pitching for the Mets now. Grant Hartwig is the current New York Mets pitcher. Of course, there's a few names that you might recognize. Brett Beatty's in the game. Luis Angel Acuna is in the game, but it's almost all subs in at this point in time. Got a foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 bastidas. Grant Hartwig pitching for the Mets. Mets are going to see if they can somehow put some offense together either in the 8th or the 9th inning. That is ripped to third. Acuna knocks it down, picks it up, recovers, and throws him out at first. If that ball was hit softer, that might not have worked, but it was hit so hard, he had plenty of time. All right, it's 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Mets are down 5-1. So innings look pretty good for Hartwig here. So that ball is smoked to right field. Cooper Hummel. And I'm thinking looks like Hummel's coming out of the game here. They're going to sub him. Yeah, Neomar Ochoa is coming in for Cooper Hummel for the Astros. 60 degrees at the game, which probably sounds nice and warm to a lot of you, but to us in Florida, that's pretty chilly. Let's call strike. See if Hartwig can battle back here. Zach Short is a former New York Met. He played for the Mets, Red Sox, and Braves last season. 3 teams, and this season is with the Astros. Woo! That was a close play. Pickoff play at first. Almost got him. Another throw over. So that's it. That's his 2 disengagements. He was running on that pitch and fouled back. Of course, Hartwig has already used his 2 disengagements, so he can only throw over. Can only throw over if he gets him out. If he doesn't, then he gets second automatically anyway. So another foul ball back. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Brett the Met, Castro the Astro. I was laughing at Castro earlier. I wonder how many teams, certain teams that would not work too well for, but ground ball foul. There have been so many foul balls in this game. It's just lots of foul backs, long at bats. Pete Alonso had a long at bat. Francisco Alvarez had a long at bat. This game is like, it's going to be a 3-hour game. And it's not because of anything other than just long at bats. It's not a super high scoring game. Hasn't been like an excessive amount of pitching change. It's just, and he gets that one and fisted off to Acuna at third, who catches it. And that's it. Mets are coming up. Bottom of the 8th. Never know if they're going to do subs, but due up for the Mets will be Diego Mosquera, Omar De Los Santos, and Brett the Met. That's who is due up. So you get to see. That'll be probably for all these guys. I think it's their first plate appearance for every one of those guys. Roger, you could have Roger the Dodger. I'm sure that's happened before. Roger the Dodger. What other ones could you have? Finn the Twin. Stewart the Brewer. Is that too much of a stretch? Stewart the Brewer. Stewart the Brewer. It's got to be one that works with either Cubs or Reds. I mean, you actually had a famous Reds player, I don't know exactly how to say his name, Red Schoendienst or whatever. Sorry if I butchered that. It was before my time. So I've only ever read his name. I've never really heard it spoken, but I believe he was on the Reds. Red on the Red. Red on the Reds. We're at commercial break, so you're not missing anything while I'm jibber-jabbering about potential players who belong on certain teams. I mean, our son's Little League team has a Roger on it, so you could have a Roger the Dodger. It has a Finn. Finn the Twin could be on it. I don't think we have a Brett. Starlin. Well, Starling Marte was on the Marlins, so you could have Starlin the Marlin. That's kind of close. Ray the Ray. All right. Oh, they got the all right. Jose Azocar is leading off for the Mets here in the bottom of the eighth. Mets are down 4, so need base runners right now. That's what you're looking for. Just need some base runners. Grounds that ball, gets through the hole to right field. So it is a leadoff single for Jose Azocar. There we go, Savage Batman. Now I know you're feeling good. We were talking about Aaron Judge earlier. So all right. Omar De Los Santos is now going to be up for the Mets. And we've got first pitch, swinging strike. All right, here's pitch 2, 0-1 count. Swing and miss there as well. No balls and 2 strikes to Omar De Los Santos. All right, no balls and 2 strikes to Omar De Los Santos. Mets have their runner on first. That's ball, low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mets are down 5-1. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. It has been a less than stellar New York Mets performance today. Not gonna lie, we've gotten to see some really good performances. This one, there is not much that I would count as a highlight. Then he goes down swinging. All right, here is Brett the Met. We'll stay with you through the end of the game, but as soon as the game is over tonight, I am going to rock and roll. I got to go eat supper and then work on some other projects. Got to get some work done here. First pitch is a ball to Brett Beatty. Let me, I just want to see what Brett's stats are this spring training here. That's ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Here we go. Let me bring up Brett's stats for you here this spring training. You can see them right here. It's hard to highlight exactly. Trying to highlight it a little bit. It just doesn't let you. The highlighted stats, that's the spring training stats. 8 hits and 18 at bats, hitting .444, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. That's a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. 500 on base percentage, 1333 OPS. Obviously, that's not the issue with Brett. The issue with him is can he do it in the regular season? But guess what? I'd still feel better if he imagine if he wasn't doing it, and he's going to walk on 4 pitches here. But I mean, would you feel better if he wasn't hitting well in spring training? No, I mean, like everybody would be like, he's a bum. He's a bum. Get rid of him. Trade him. So now they're just saying, well, he can't do it in the regular season. That's actually really improper phrasing. It should be he hasn't done it in the regular season. Because past performance is not indicative of future results. Mets have runners on first and second with 1 out. And Diego Mosquera is up for the Mets. Diego Mosquera. All right, that's a strike, no balls, and 2 strikes. Mets are needing to score some runs here. Again, I know the game doesn't matter, but you still want to see these guys battle and fight. All right, it is 0-2 count, bottom of the 8th, 1 out. Mets have runners on first and second, down 5-1. Diego Mosquera is up. Almost went for it. That's a ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I mean, realistically, you want to see the Mets score a couple runs right here. Mosquera strikes out. That's 2 outs. They do a throw down to second, but he gets back. So again, once again, just no timely hitting for the Mets tonight. It's been that's been frustrating, and not just these subs. I mean, it was even the starters. It was just a really poor hitting night. The wind was definitely knocking the ball down and messing around with stuff in the outfield. That was obvious, but just all right. Luis Angel Acuna is now batting. The first pitch almost hits him, and he also almost swings at it. So 1 ball, no strike. Oh no, they said he did go. It almost hit him, and he did swing at it. They called that a swing. No balls and 1 strike then. That's a strike right down the middle. I can tell you that. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Acuna needs to go back to the minors. He needs more time. I'm so thankful for what he provided for the team when he came up. He was the spark that we needed. But as you guys know, just because you can be a spark for a couple weeks doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to be in the majors. And so there's no need to rush him with this lineup. Get him just consistent everyday playing time. Let him work through everything that he needs to work through. And there's going to be an opportunity. If not this season, then certainly next season, there's going to be an opportunity for Acuna, or he can develop and continue to develop as future trade bait for the Mets as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luis Angel Acuna. Here's the pitch. That's high and outside. Full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mets have runners on first and second. Acuna's had a really rough spring. For his confidence, it'd be really nice. Be really nice if he could put a ball, get an RBI here. It's a good at bat. He's been battling. Now we've got to just convert, like not a weak ground ball to first base, but an actual foul ball. Yeah, Vientos looked amazing. I suppose that's it, Stan. I think Vientos looked good. Grant Hartwig looked pretty good too. All right, let's go, Acuna. Give her a rip. Let's do this. Runners are going, and a swing and a miss. And that about sums up the overall for today. But you were right, Stan. Mark Vientos should not be overlooked. I mean, a stellar day. And then if you include the fact that when Beatty got in, he got a walk. So it's like your Beatty Vientos combo, on base all 4 times. So Vientos is hitting 294 on the spring. So, and he's had a fair amount of playing time. So that's pretty good. So yeah, no, I mean, that's for sure. We should not overlook that. I don't think I'm going to make a post-game recap today because I don't have time. I got other things I got to work on, but yeah. I agree. And here's the thing, like they're just working on stuff. These are games that don't matter, and it's figuring out the mechanics. Maybe they're testing out something. Maybe they're Maybe they're testing out reads on pitchers. Maybe they're trying a new bat grip. Like there's so many things that they could be testing too. And we look at it like, oh my goodness, he went 0 for 4. Eh. Now I think for some players it might be a little more telling. Like someone like Luis Angel Acuna, if he was battling for a position spot, that's not the type of spring you'd want to see before you brought him up. So then that makes that decision a little bit easier. And same thing for Beatty. I mean, could you imagine what what if Acuna and Beatty's spring stats were absolutely switched? Everybody would be saying, "Get rid of Brett Beatty. He's no good. He's a bunch of trash. Get rid of him. Acuna needs to be starting. Get rid of Jeff McNeil." Like that's the overreaction people would have. And so, um, I just think in the overall big picture of things, like for some players, it means something. For other players, it just doesn't mean as much. And so for a player like Luis Angel Acuna, who's battling for a roster spot, the spring means a lot. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, being hands-on with kind of like, so here's the thing. When I was in Little League, I love baseball, but I was bad at playing baseball. Like I could play with my friends and I could hit a ball but I didn't know a lot of the basic mechanics. And so having to teach my son, I've learned a lot. And so I kind of I just see things through kind of a lot more human lens. Not just baseball, but sports in general. I just look at it through a human lens. All right. This pitch is lifted to center field, and that out is going to be made. Let's see. Sorry, I got to tell you who's pitching here for the Mets. Carlos Guzman. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Stan. I don't know. I think people look at baseball players like they don't look at them as people in general. And I tend to look at them as people. And I think that gives me a different perspective on sports. Like all athletes, they're just people. Like it's cool to meet them, it's cool to get an autograph, it's whatever. But in the end, they've got hopes and fears and dreams like me and you. And maybe about the only thing that's different between us and them is okay, they got the money in the bank account, but that's not even true for all players. A lot of these minor league guys, they got 100 grand or something. Some of the top guys have signing bonuses, but a lot of these guys, they work jobs. They work jobs, or they're not making bank. Absolutely. And I think there's something for that is just so resilient that you've got to, the greatest fail 70% of the time. But the average ones fail 75 to 80% of the time, if with the way stats are nowadays. And they're real people. And I think that's the one negative that and I know that there's always been sports gambling and betting. I understand that, but it's just such an extreme level that people literally are just looking at these players merely as objects to hopefully make them money. And I think that's the part of sports in general that I hate the most is just the gamblingification of it, the sports betification of sports. And like I said, I know it's always been there, but the depth at which so many people are involved with sports gambling, I think it's taken away the love of the sport. In the same way that, I collect baseball cards and not a whole lot right now, mostly selling, but my kids collect baseball cards. It's almost like the love of collecting baseball cards is gone because it's all about just gambling and trying to hit big cards to make big money. And it's like, it's fine, I guess. There's still room for it, but yeah. Well, exactly, Stan. And I think I think you and I are kind of the dying breed of sports fans who enjoy actually looking at the stats and getting a better way of knowing these players. By the way, there's 2 outs here. I agree, Stan. And you could never get rid of it, but the fact that sports have just wholeheartedly embraced gambling versus it being this thing like we know it's happening, we'll leave it off the side. And I say this like I've never done sports betting, but I've played fantasy sports. I've played some fairly high level fantasy football back in the day, but I just it's like one of those things. That's a ball inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes here. It's maybe it draws more interest to the individual games. Like, I might care when I was doing fantasy football, I would care about games that I wouldn't care, and I would watch games that I wouldn't normally watch. But in the end, I didn't love football more because of that. Another foul ball to the right side. Because it was like my emotions would go up and down. And I think that's one of the reasons people are so emotional. Not everybody. Some are just passionate sports fans. And like I can I can appreciate that, right? Like I can appreciate you being passionate about your team, but if you're just emotional because some guy, all right, and he got him on a check swing, they called it. So that is going to be it. Going to the bottom of the ninth. So I just don't, I don't. I feel like gambling and the way that sports have embraced gambling, it's kind of like Pandora's box is open, and how do you go back? I don't know. Is it better that it's out in the open now? But it's not building new sports fans. It's building. Eventually, I think you're going to see a lot of people in the long run who are just going to get just wiped out by gambling. And it's going to ruin lives and ruin families and ruin marriages and stuff like that in the long run. And I know some people don't care. I get it. I'm not going to ever be like, hey, we can't talk. I mean, I think, if you're trying to analyze a baseball game, giving betting lines is kind of like good to just have a good perspective of things. But yeah. And how many seasons did Ted Williams miss? Did he miss 3, Stan, in the prime of his career? Yeah, 3 in the prime of his career. It's crazy. All right, so we are going to the bottom of the ninth. The Mets are down 5-1. Obviously, this game doesn't mean anything specifically here. Due up is Luis Torrens, Joey Meneses, and Donovan Walton. Now, will they all come up? Who knows? I don't know if they've got anybody else they're going to try to bring into the game here, but that is who is due up for the Mets here in the bottom of the ninth. Mets needing 4 runs. I'm not expecting anything, but if I could have my wish, it'd be nice to see Brett Beatty come up in a pressure situation just to see. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was in the crazy. There were not rules protecting players like there are today. First pitch is ball. I just came back from I think Logan Van Wy is pitching for the Astros. Luis Torrens is up, and it is 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, I know. I'm old school, right? Old fan yells at cloud. Old fan yells at cloud. Savage Batman. You might be posting that in the wrong message for him. Yeah, I know. It's so hard to project out, but man, there are so many matchups that I wish I could see. I would love to have seen like Bob Gibson pitch against Tony Gwynn. Have you seen I think it's Tony Gwynn's stats. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Versus Nolan Ryan. I think that's what it is. I think it's Tony Gwynn versus Nolan Ryan. I think that's the one. As grounder down to third, fields it, gets up, throws, and Torrens is thrown out because he's a catcher. I don't know if this is the one. This is the one I was thinking, but I'll show it to you anyway. So Tony Gwynn, maybe this is it. Okay, so lifetime Tony Gwynn versus Nolan Ryan, batting average 300 batting average lifetime with only 9 strikeouts, 6 home runs, one. I don't know if do they show walks on here? 3 walks, just absolutely, absolutely crazy. I just think that's so amazing. Yeah, there's so many fun matchups that, of course, we've never seen. And of course, there's so many guys. I mean, anything before the '86 Mets, I've watched some highlights, like old stuff. This is popped up by Meneses, popped up to the second baseman, and that's going to be the second out. It is bottom of ninth with 2 outs. We are going to roll as soon as this game is over. I got other stuff to do. I got to go eat, first of all. That's the number one thing. Say goodnight to my kids if they haven't fallen asleep yet. Wow. That's cool, Stan. I'm so happy that you got to witness that. That's cool stuff. 1 ball, no strike to Donovan Walton. Should this inning continue? Oh, we got a grounder to the first baseman, steps on the bag, and the game is over. Well, as always, I appreciate you so much. That's so cool. So cool. Glad that you had it. 3 complete games. Very nice. All right. Well, that is in the books. Mark Vientos, definitely the MVP. He gets the game ball, no doubt. Couple of decent pitching performances. Grant Hartwig looked pretty good. Let me see if there's anything else that is worth highlighting. Not really. It wasn't. It wasn't. There's just not too much. But that's all right. Appreciate you all again. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't yet. One last reminder: we added a David Peterson card, so you can click a pinned comment, and you can sign up. We're giving away a David Peterson rookie card to go along with the Nick Madrigal rookie card that we were already giving away. So you can sign up. Once you sign up there, you sign up one time, it'll sign you up for all the drawings that we're ever going to do on this channel. So do that. I appreciate all of you. We'll be back. I don't know. I honestly don't know the next time we're going to be live, but as many of these games as we can do, we will do. Just got to fit it in with my work schedule until I can get paid from YouTube doing this. So I got to make money for taking care of the family first. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Let's go Mets.